The Insignia GSi was one of the vehicles you want to see here from the IAA 2017. Opel or Vauxhall will bring this sports sedan. A lot of performance tuning, especially for the chassis. We'll go in all the details, take the exterior, interior, and have some product experts for the interview. Everything you need to know about this vehicle. Of course, an Autogefühl in Full HD, full screen and full length, with your number one resource for in-depth car reviews and your number one community to discuss cars. Let's spin this car around. So let's start with the front. Very low profile, horizontal taillights. The hood is not all the way to the front. There's a split in here that for small crashes you can replace the front part. Special matte gray paint here also for that. We'll soon dig in details also to the product details, what is standard, what not in the interview. This first a short design overview. So I think overall very impressive here also with a two-color lower bumper. So the GSi is mainly, let's say, a visual part and suspension tuning. It is not, for people that don't want to spend too much money, actually not necessarily have the OPC, the total performance version, more a performance package, also for example from the M Performance models of BMW or Mercedes, the 43 models. This is basically the same philosophy, not the highest engine, the spec, but already the sportiest look. Side profile with a massive stance of those optional 20-inch alloys, also with the Brembo brake calipers in red contrast, and also stronger lower bumper. And really significant is that how they use the metal sheeting here. Look at that, it's a really strong design line, raising up to the shoulder. And the Grand Sport, is basically a fastback. It's not a true sedan, as we could call it. And so it also has this floating rear. And I think this is a very beautiful development. We also see it in some other cars. We know it from the Audi A7, or for example, also from a new Kia Stinger. And also those fastback cars, we'll soon show you that, combine, of course, a little bit more versatility with the beautiful floating design on the exterior. I would like to hear your feedback already on design of the Insignia GSi. Do you like it? In the rear we have this additional spoiler at the very top, and then on the lower part, well, those ones are the fake exhaust tip to add some more chrome contrast right there. And of course, sadly you have to have a normal license plate and cannot get this beautiful GSi license plate. The trunk, by the way, you just press the Opel logo. We'll do that very soon. So this is, nice way to hide the trunk opening mechanism. So let's take a look. Press it here. And then here we go. And so you see how versatile it is, although it's not really an estate. Of course, the Tourer, the estate, or the Combi, you can put higher things, especially in this area. But this one already, if you want the sedan style, not want a classic estate style, you could fit in replacement tire here. So here combining then the versatility with the style, actually. This cover could also be removed. And if there's someone sitting on the inside, don't want to squish someone. Others do that, other car reviewers. So then we can also electrically flip the seats right there. Great solution. Wow, that's really nice and pretty easy. What do you think?
Baby, you and me. And I'm thinking me. Baby, you and me. And I'm thinking me.
The interior is sporty with red contrast stitches. You can, for example, also see it right there. And then also this carbon fiber style decor elements. You will find them at the inside of the doors and also around For example, here at the rest of the cockpit, there's also, this head-up display available. You can control the height, for example, right there, and also which info or the brightness that is shown. Also red contour stitches for the sporty steering wheel with a flattened bottom. Those ones are the optional performance seats. I wouldn't go for them as the normal sport seats that you get from standard are cheaper, offer you more comfort, and are also available then with fabric or with Alcantara. Later on more deals to that. But the performance seat, it's good for show off and stuff. But as for you, for a customer, I think it's a better price performance deal for sure if you leave it with the standard seat. I mean, for performance seat, this one here has relatively fair space around here. Has some more shoulder support in the upper area. The seat massage, well, it's a feature you can, you don't really have to go for. Interesting, by the way, here, how far, the interior cockpit reaches out there. We've seen similar solutions with the Grandland X recently, and the thing is, when the door is open, it looks a little bit weird. But why do they do it? They do it because when the door is closed, it looks, rather seamless than from the inside. So it's really designed for the case when the car is closed. And of course, that's most of the time the case when you drive the vehicle. You can also adjust the steering wheel manually in all of the ways. And this latest Insignia generation makes a good quality impression general. Also when you turn the buttons and stuff. 8-speed automatic transmission combined with all of the models you can get. 260 horsepower, I can tell you so far, but soon we'll also talk to the performance, head of performance here at Opel, and then we'll get you more details. Let's finish our interior tour. So that's what I meant right here. You can see this integration then here when the door is closed. Other than that, if we take a broader perspective at this cockpit overview, there is soft touch at the top of the dashboard, black contrast stitches right there, then this curved design where we have the biggest infotainment screen that is available. Still menu control of the volume, for example. Infotainment system itself, you can, for example, here connect the phone via Bluetooth. That is possible. You always have a back button. I think it's also quite good. You can control the climate right here in the screen, but you don't have to, actually. Just a short look at the GPS. That's how it looks like. Reactions are actually, quite okay. Could be a little bit faster. The area where you can spread the fingers is a little bit, limited in the height. So then climate unit is below that. Still possible just to turn it. A lot of car customers still like to do it, in this very classic way. And then cup holders, well, that should be a little bit limited from the size and also from the height of the bottles. Then you can pick the different driving modes, for example, sport or tour right there. Electric handbrake. This black surface will collect, those fingerprints quite easily. I'm not too keen on that. So much storage right there. And then there's the armrest, quite fixedly attached. And below that we have one USB port. Also another port for your smartphone and some more space. So, and the gauges, you see it's basically mixed. The outer part is analog, but the middle part is all digital. It looks really analog, but it's of course just a screen. And the advantage would be that you have, some more information variety in there. But also, as we have the head-up display available, this option, obviously an option a lot of guys will go for, that you have all the information even more in your line of sight. And now the rear compartment, as obviously this one will be a vehicle. It's not a secondary vehicle or something like that. It will be a primary vehicle, probably also for your family. And we've seen the trunk, and you can easily use it for that. And here, also the knee room we have, that's actually a pretty good result. So, really comfortable in here. Headroom, I'm 1.86 or 6'1". So also, especially if you don't have any panoramic roof, as we have here, it's a plain roof, it's really well to use. And it is a little bit of a leaning back position here for sure, as in some other sedans. but it's actually quite comfortable. Here, the bench is a little bit short. You can see it here with my legs, but overall, I think also a good result. And was also very nice. I just switch over. It's actually not too bad. The middle tunnel is not, you see, not too big. Here we have 2 more USB ports, for example. And optionally, there's also seat heating for the rear seats available. Unfortunately, we cannot open the hood today, but I can tell you so far, a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 260 horsepower, the petrol engine, I think it will be also the most important one performance-wise. And then there's also the biggest diesel available in the Insignia lineup, so more details to that. But the most important part I want to mention before, the GSi is always combined with all-wheel drive. The basic platform is front-wheel drive, so it's like front-wheel drive plus torque on the rear on demand. But as this one has a lot of power, there will basically always some power at the rear wheels. And this is also the reason you can also get the performance to the ground. And also torque vectoring is from standard equipment here for the GSi. And with Volker Strycek, Director Motorsports and Performance Cars, we want to talk about the performance. And I've heard that this vehicle is actually faster than the previous generation on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Is that right? And why?
Yeah, that is really right. But I would like to point it out, the GSi is not the success of the OPC. So we would like to offer for the next future a mid-performance car. That is the reason why I decided to develop an Insignia GSi. And this now is our youngest baby, and we are really proud to present it here on the motor show here in Frankfurt. Yeah, why it is quicker? Because we did a deep dive in the chassis tuning. We developed a completely new chassis setup for this car. And we have to talk about the weight. The car is much lighter as the previous one. We are talking about more than 160 kilogram less weight as it was in the previous Insignia. But anyway, the new technology is in deep dive in the chassis tuning, the new kind of damper setting, spring rates, stabilizer, sorting out the right choice for the software tuning, for the dampers, for the steering and so on, brought us in the situation that the car is outstanding in performance, and the performance is showable in lap times on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. And we did a deep comparison between the previous Insignia OPC and now the new one, the GSi. And you see that the car is much faster, especially in cornering, on braking, and on the high dynamic driving. We are really proud about our previous Insignia OPC. This car was outstanding in performance, and the car did a really good job during the last 7 days. Now, the development was for 7 years ago, and that is the reason why we are much more experienced and we have new technology. And that is what we used for the GSi, and that is the reason why the car is faster.
So the engine, we already know it basically. 2-liter displacement, 4-cylinder, 260 horsepower. You could also get it for a normal Insignia. Did you do anything to the engine, maybe some fine-tuning, or is it basically the same?
No, that was not planned. The GSi is running. We have 2 engines. We're offering 2 engines. One of them is a 2-liter turbo gasoline engine with 260 horsepower, 400 Newton meter. But I would like to tell you one of the reasons why the car is so fast is also the low-end torque, especially of this engine. 400 Newton meter in the low range, it's outstanding in response and drivability. And the second engine is the 210 horsepower diesel engine with 480 Newton meter. A lot of torque, and both of them are available in the normal, in the GS version, and also in the sports tourer version. And all of our cars has a different setup in chassis. The station wagon is different in chassis setup as the GS, and also the diesel version is different to the gasoline version, because we have different weights. We have different overhangs, especially between the GS and the sports tourer. And that is the reason why we did really a deep dive in the chassis tuning, and not one chassis tuning for all of our derivatives. We did it for each car.
Basically 4 cars. So the estate petrol, estate diesel, sedan petrol, sedan diesel.
Exactly. Yeah, you are right. For each of them, we did an our setup, and you will feel it immediately. It's a big difference to the regular car. It's more sporty, it's more sharper, it's more precise, and that was our goal. And yeah, as I said, we are really proud to present the car here.
So you said this is not a successor of the OPC. Does it mean there's still an OPC to come for this generation?
I can't talk about it. For me, it's absolutely important to tell everybody OPC is not dead. Maybe that is a good message for everybody. But you know, we have since 4 weeks a new situation. We are in a new company like PSA. We have to sort out everything in the next couple of days and weeks. And then we have to talk our next steps in development in OPC and how will be the future for our cars. But at the moment, I can tell you we are proud to have the GSi now. And we have to talk maybe in some weeks about the next steps of future in OPC and something else.
Okay, we will do. We will follow, of course, the development. Of course, looking forward even more to drive this fella here very soon. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Baby, you underneath. And I'm thinking me.
And with product manager Jérôme Balliol, we will talk about the very details you are often most interested in. And we can start right there with the front. What about the headlights? LED, not LED, optional? What's the setup there?
Insignia GSi is an up-level car, so it has the LED standard. Okay, the Matrix LED we call IntelliLux, which is the latest generation and probably the best system on the market. So it's standard within GSi. Okay, that's the first thing. Probably you would also recognize, if you look at the whole car, that the car is lower. It's sitting 10 millimeters lower than the actual Insignias, because it has a sporty chassis with different bushings, different settings of the suspension, so the car is very much closer to the ground, which was already the case for the, let's say, genuine Insignia. Okay, so that's the first thing already.
What about the rims? We see it's a massive 20-inch here at the moment. Do they come standard with the GSi or are they optional?
No, we have basically 2 wheels in the program of the GSi. You have as a standard a very nice looking 18-inch, which is very relevant for chainable if you want to go skiing and everything. Or we have the very sporty 20-inch wheels, which are standard, equipped with new Michelin Pilot P4 tires, which are extremely strong in the grip and in the curve, so very good tires.
For the side profile, always coming with a black frame, or would you also have a choice to go for the chrome again, or is that combined with the GSi?
Well, you probably know we launched recently the Exclusive, which is a new, let's say, a new content, a new trim for all Insignias. GSi also comes with Exclusive. And this black outside rear view mirror caps, or the black DLO, the daylight opening, you can see here, high gloss black, is something which is very specific to Exclusive. This car is an Exclusive GSi.
So it's basically based on the Exclusive and then puts the GSi on top, so to say.
Or the other way around. This is a GSi, but it has the exclusive content in it.
Okay, let's go to the rear, actually. So I would say, it obviously looks like it, that we also have the LED at the rear from standard.
Yes, they are anyway standard in all Insignias. We have those magnificent LED tail lamps.
What about the decision for the exhaust tips? There's always a lot of discussion about fake exhaust tips and real ones. Maybe you can explain your decision here.
Well, there again, the GSi is slightly different. Here we have the Grand Sport. So the Grand Sport with the biggest engines always comes with the real exhaust. In the case of the GSi, we made them look much more sportier, with a different bumper, with a complete different design for the aerodynamics and all this stuff. But GSi also exists with the Sports Tourer. And Sports Tourer, usually on the regular lineup, has, we call it fake bezels in the rear, but the GSi has true exhausts on the Sports Tourer as well. So another difference versus the regular Insignia.
Okay, very interesting. And let's take a look at the interior now, because sometimes there are different seats available, seat forms, and also services, so maybe you can fill us on there. It's always complicated for the customer to really know when they see a show vehicle, what do they actually get when they just pick the GSi. So what's the start and what do we see now?
Well, GSi is a sporty car, so as a standard equipment, you will get the OPC line pack interior with a flat bottom steering wheel, leather, heated and everything. And you will get the dark headliners here and the alloy pedals. That is standard in all GSi. But on top of it, or let's say standard, you would get the regular AGR sport seats, which you can also find in the dynamic trim. So something, let's say, reasonable.
That would be then without integrated head restraints, so
Yes,
that separates
that's
it.
the regular one with the four-way headrests in the back. But if you want more sport, if you want something even more exclusive, then you can opt for the very specific integrated headrests sport seats, which are providing a very good comfort together with a very good lateral holding. So again, very sporty for the people who want to go on the racetracks over the weekend. But these seats, they're also fitted, for instance, with the massage seat, which is a very popular thing. So heated, massage and everything.
Can you also get them with fabric or with Alcantara surfaces?
The standard seat is fitted with fabric and Alcantara. It's a mixture which provides the best sliding performance, because it's still a sporty car, but with the best performance ratio, let's say. And if you want them in the integrated headrest shape, then you can go for different colors. You can also have the brownstone, which is our Napa premium seat, so something very, very exclusive and up level.
But so the performance seat with the integrated head restraint is always combined with leather then?
Yes, it's always leather. Those seats are always leather, yes.
Okay, some more features. We have the 8-speed automatic transmission, is a converter gearbox here too. That will remain also for all of the models.
Yeah, all Insignias, you have two engines. You have the petrol engine with 260 horsepower, or you have the diesel engine with 210 horsepower. Both of them are fitted with the new 88 automatic transmission and the all-wheel drive with the rear torque vectoring system. So all of them only the top, only the best.
So if you think about, you would buy one for yourself, would it be like this, or would you, spec it a little bit different way around? What would you go for?
Well, for sure, I think I would take this color, this exact color, which is extremely successful. Honestly, this is the first time I see.
How's it called?
Real. It's called Racing Gray, and it looks fantastic. I think it works very well with the car. If I could, I would choose the 20-inch wheel. They look fantastic, and I would probably take the performance seats in the brownstone because I love the color, I love the smell, and I love the comfort of this premium leather. All the rest, as I said, this Insignia GSi is fitted with almost everything standard, so you don't have much to choose.
So my choice, definitely blue, like, it was with the Grand X here. I think would go for this blue color then. Is it available here, like this blue color here for the Grand also for the...
Probably not this exact blue, but we have in the GSi all the colors you can imagine, because we will introduce the GSi exclusive. And with GSi exclusive, I can make this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. Everything is blue now, or this one, I can make every color I like. So you have everything available.
So I guess we could also get it in Thomas Blue. And of course, for me then, of course, the rather basic seats then with fabric and Alcantara, and then I think I'll also be happy with my GSi. Thank you so much for the insight.
Thanks.
So the last spin for today, using the Force, and now coming to our conclusion. Surely a very sporty and beautiful vehicle. And if you compare it, for example, from Opel Vauxhall vehicles from 10 years ago, I think you wouldn't really recognize the brand anymore. Very elegant also in the style, and definitely, although it has this massive wheel choice already, well, you can also go for the 18-inch, have a little bit more comfort, of course, and you don't damage them that easy. Interior is actually good quality we found there. Of course, better with the normal performance seat, save some money there. And about saving money, of course, this won't be a cheap Opel, and it will probably stay below 50,000 euros. Prices are not communicated yet, but you have to be aware, not go with everything they offer, that you don't, have the most expensive vehicle, and because we always pay attention that, can still get affordable cars too. Performance-wise, it's really interesting what they have achieved. Also, lap times on the racetrack. So it seems that you do not need the maximum power from the engine. You can already drive sporty with the other variations they have put in this very vehicle. Also with the all-wheel drive, it's supposed to drive quite sporty, because if you would just have the front-wheel drive and with so much power, maybe that would have been a little bit wasted. But again, as I said earlier, GSi always with overdrive, so that will already make sense. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tell us your opinion about the new Insignia GSi.